Hello friends, how are you today? It's so wonderful to be here with you, talking about the Schumann resonance chart and talking about energy. There was something amazing on the Schumann chart today, and I printed an intraday chart so that we could talk about it, and then I'm going to just spend a few minutes after we look at the charts just talking about the energy concept. But first, if you could please like and subscribe, and if the video resonates with you, if you could please share it, that would be wonderful. Thank you. I also talked a lot about some energy concepts in my last two videos. They all go together, so if you want more, those are some really good ones on the fall equinox and then on frequency as reality. Okay, I'm sure you guys noticed this amazing set of images here. Wow. I do recall something like this once before. I don't know where it is in my in all of my videos, so but it wasn't quite like this. I mean, this is over hours. Just repeating and repeating and repeating, and it's this these green lines just going at angles like this, and the white and red images are really striking too, aren't they? I mean, the edging and the outlining in the red is just so it's so stark in the images. And then look at these here. I mean, to a certain extent, they look like, at first I was thinking they looked a little like upside down crosses. There's definitely a lot of like heavy energy in here, like rageful energy, dark energy, just wow, there's a lot going on. And so this is all the unconscious and subconscious areas that in the Schumann resonance chart that relate to human brainwaves. And then you get it rising up into our consciousness here, and then just coming in these big waves. I want to show you a tweet. There we go. Clarity Sage 1111. Thanks for pinging me. It was so cool because she did this really interesting, like, image of what she saw, which was this sort of Asian design that she saw in the images. And it was so interesting because someone followed me with an image on their profile that was just like this right after that. And then it was also really interesting because look at this. Look at these lines here. I think you really called it. That was pretty cool. Later on, I think you sent this when the chart was more over here. Not over here, more over here. And then later on, look at this. It's so fascinating. So good call. Here, it was so interesting because I talked about this on one of the last two videos, but it just has really continued. This line at 20 hertz, which is like our waking beta, it's our beta brainwaves, but it's complex thought and analysis. But look, it's just filled with these black lines all in a row. And it's just what it feels like to me is attempts at blockages, attempts at blocking our higher thinking, attempts at blocking like higher development of humanity almost, because you also have like these boxes showing up, you know. It reminds me of that horrible, horrible song. I think it was from the 60s. My mom had it when I was growing up. She had it. She had it she used to play piano, and she had it in a book. So it was little boxes all like ticky-tacky. I can't remember the name of it, but those are some of the lyrics. And it would just repeat it over and over again. And so there's a lot of structure in this that doesn't feel comfortable in this chart. So I'm interpreting the chart as a reflection of human consciousness. The Schumann resonance does mirror human brainwaves. It's a non-physical energy in the air around us. And but I'm also looking at the numerics and the numbers. There are like an amazing number of images and things here. And I wanted to show you for a sec. That occurred between about 20 and 23. That's when the first really striking image occurred. And you see right there was a little pop-up in the amplitude. Excuse me, these spikes in amplitude relate to the horizontal vertical lines right here. So this is the biggest spike in amplitude right here. And here's the second one. And you can see what happened. These big spikes of energy kind of clear the chart, okay? And then you had the line at 20 hertz. It gets cleared by this big energy and it comes back. The other interesting thing that happened at this time was the movement and the qualities. It's interesting because the red, it spiked up to 25, which is a pretty good number in this. And then it's really had like an elevated, extended rise in qualities, which is not usual for it to be so elevated over such a long period of time. It had also spiked before that again to 25 previously. Actually, I guess these spikes are a little lower. They're more like 21 over here. And then after that first sort of really strange image, which is here after this first one, okay, that's when in the qualities in the white just spiked up there, and you had a little spike in the green, but an extended rise in white. So I just wanted to talk about what I thought the energies are that are going on here. What I want to call this is like psychic surgery. And something really interesting like this happened to me earlier, actually like 2 days ago. And so it was so interesting to see something here in the chart. And I was like, oh my God, that's like what happened. But basically, it's like there's something deep in your energy field and you're unconscious that it's there. Something very old, very long term. And you find it finally. You find it. And it's interesting because sometimes the light has to back off for us to find these things. It's interesting, the relationship with the light, right? And the light and the darkness. But here you have the light come in. You see how the light comes in and these little dark pixels are gone now. Okay, mostly gone. Okay, and then when there's this big spike, well, it's a little bit like that. If things are too bright, sometimes we can't see. It's kind of interesting, right? We can't see very, very far. It's almost like being fogged in. Fog is very bright. If you shine a light on it, it just reflects back to you, and then you really can't see anything. But that's what it felt like. So what it felt like was that there's this, essentially like this parasitic element that we're finally seeing, okay? And it's right here in the chart. I'm making it a little bigger now just for emphasis. And you have all these lines attached to it, right? It's like it's embedded in our unconscious thinking and in our subconscious, and we're not that aware of it. But suddenly, somehow, okay, the light shone really strong, and then we saw it, and then now we want to get it, and we want to get it out, and we're like pulling at it, and we're like, get out, and it's trying to stay. Kind of like when you try to pull ivy off of a tree, and it has those little creepers, and it like it puts itself into the bark, and you have to like pull out the creepers, and that's kind of how this kind of seemed to me. Like we're pulling it out of our subconscious and our unconscious. We've finally seen it, and we're like, get out, you don't belong here, get out, and that's immediately what I felt when I saw this. And then just this, I don't know, I just see this, to me, this looks like a naked lady facing away from us. But then there's all these little strange faces, like entity type faces, or could be animals, or just different energies. And then you have all this kind of matrixy shapes lit up in red in particular. And then you've got more of these sort of angled vertical lines. Like we see this, right? We're pulling it. And as we pull it, these lines stretch, and we're seeing this, and we want to pull it out. And something else is forming here, but I thought I would just do the video anyway. Let me show you something about these concepts that I wanted to share with you. When we are trying to assess ourselves, okay, or even assess our world, and especially if you're a spiritual person, right, you might be meditating in the light, you might be working with the light, and sometimes the light is very bright. Let me show you something here. See this woman here, she's sitting in the light, she's in a bit of shadow right now, but we can see that she has this beautiful macrame top. Well, the light from the camera, reflection is really bright right here about where her heart is. So if we look closer in here, we can see the macrame, right? We can see all the fine lines of it. But the closer we get to the bright light, look at that, looks like kind of like a face, but the light is just shining through the holes in the macrame. So now we can't really even see the thread, right? We just see this mishmash of light. But as we get to the center here, we can't see anything. We can't see the light shining through the macrame. We can't see the macrame. All we see is the bright, bright light. Okay, there's a hint over here to the right that there might be something there. All right, so there's something in a lower state of light, a lower vibration frequency of light that we can't see. We wouldn't even, if we just looked at this image, okay, without having seen the woman, we wouldn't even know it was there. We wouldn't know that the macrame was under this light. Okay, so let me show you something else. Look here at her head. It's the same idea. Look here, we can see, here's her face, here's her hair, okay, her beautiful blonde hair. But as we get closer and closer to where the light shines over the top of her head, look here, I can kind of see, I see her outline, I see some hairs here, but now they're starting to get blurry down to the right here and down to the left. And as I get closer and closer, now all I see is the light. Let me give you this example. Oops. This had closed out on me before, so I have to put it back together. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. So you can see the woman under here, right? Now, I'm going to use the white circle as a proxy for the light. Okay, so now the light is the edge, the round edge, is the end of the energy field, her energy field. Okay. So now the light is so bright in the field, we don't even see the woman, right? So we move, let's look below that. Now we see the woman, okay? But even at this level of human existence, her light is bright. We don't see anything else in her field. But if we were to move to the side the light of her human body, okay, we would see that there was something else in the field. And let's take a closer look at it. Oh, wow, look. It has a frowny face. This looks like something unhappy or mean or angry or scary. And it's in her field. But the fact is that when we just looked at her like this, we could barely see that there was something over here. Look, see? See, you can actually see the frowny face. But I bet you didn't really notice it when I had the image like this, right? You have to kind of drill down. You have to take a closer look. And if I hadn't moved her, you wouldn't see that the frowny face was part of this brown entity, right? It's hiding in there with the lines of the hair. It's hiding. And so that's the thing here. It's almost like it's like a psychic surgery. It's something that we're not aware of. Usually it's something non-physical, but it could also be something physical that we don't see about ourselves. Suddenly we see it. Then we're able to address this in ourselves or in our energy field. We have this out in the world as well. There are so many things around us now. If you pay attention to what's going on, we didn't see the depth of it. We didn't see how long it was there. We didn't see it taking hold. And now we finally can. And we're like, oh my goodness, like this has got to go. I think that's the process that we're going through as individuals. We're going through as a broader human society. And I think that we see this reflected miraculously and intriguingly on the chart today.